Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. You know, like I said, we're in this garage. I'm renting it from somebody. We got the light up last week. That's what that's gonna look like. So that's a little sneak peek. Um, I don't think I have a video with the battery tray. That fit really nicely. And what I'm gonna do over there, I'm gonna sand that shit. What we're gonna do is, um, I'm gonna clean all this shit somehow, probably with a steamer or something like I don't know. We'll figure something out. I want to reshoot the inner lining of the fender or the wheel well. Um, of course, get it all cleaned. And then over there has a lot of rust, so we're gonna deal with that issue. Still gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the core support, radiator support, because there's a lot of rust over here. Still gotta do some research to see how it all ties in, because I started unbolting that T and the support bracket for the hood hatch, and I found out that I think it's all connected, and it goes all the way back, and it connects, runs through, and it's all solid one piece. So we're gonna do my research. We're gonna do a little research on that, and then we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do. If not, I'm just gonna sand that down, cut the pieces off to have the rust, like right there. See how? So that's where the reservoir was. And I don't know. I might just get a new support because I don't like that spot right there. But we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, that's the rust I was talking about. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but honestly, man, it's like a dream come true. When I first saw this truck, I knew, you know what I'm saying? It was time. I had car payments in the past. I didn't want them no more. I wanted to build, and that's exactly what we're doing. When I first got this truck, I got it for $500, and since I've had it, I've did small stuff. I painted that. You know what I'm saying? That bottom portion underneath the radio. I put the radio in. I got kicker speakers. The dash has all LED converted lights as well as a shifter. Simple stuff. That was a pain in the ass to get into, by the way, but it matches the radio. Like the illumination on the radio, it matches perfectly with the dash light. So I'm stoked about that and how that came out. I want to say thank you to Mars Auto, um, as well as there too. I got the front and rear cab lights. Um, so what I've done with this truck so far is I've replaced the rear brake caliper, um, the rear passenger caliper, because that snapped on me while I was driving and almost spun out, and that was a trip. Um, Shit, what else I do? Replace the EGR valve, like I said, speakers. I put the radio in myself. All the work I've done myself. Um, I first took apart this thing last year, and it was to get to the knock sensor, and basically all that shit had to come off. All that shit had to come off. Been replacing hoses. I replaced the hoses on the fuel rail. Those two, and I've done that. The EGR valve. I've done that. A couple hoses right here in the vacuum line. Still got to do some more. Um, a couple coolant lines underneath the intake manifold, or the plenum actually. I've also replaced the EGR valve. The radiator is going to get replaced. I've done the timing belt, the water pump. Um, yeah, you see the rims. See, we got KO2s on here and some ion alloys, which were 4 times the amount of the truck. I got this truck for $500, so it is what it is. A lot of things still going. I got a lot of work to do, but it's all gonna be worth it. Still gotta take out the seats because I'm gonna chuck those. Actually, I'm gonna have them. I don't know if I'm gonna redone or I don't know because it's really bad on the padding on this one, especially because the driver. Um, the dash is gonna get recovered. I have something, but I might go a different route. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Basically, the interior pillars and all the pieces are gonna get painted just like that. Um, the carpet's gotta go. It's complete shit. It doesn't even clean anymore. When I vacuum it, it just deteriorates. It's just hilarious. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out all the seats and we're gonna clean When I take out the seats, I might reposition my ECU. I haven't thought about it yet, but I'm looking to do that. And first priority is get this thing running. So we're doing the head gaskets already. That's why we're taking this thing apart again. Shit like that. But my idea is to take out the carpet and do Raptor liner, because this truck is actually my utility truck. You know what I mean? And I painted the wing. I painted the. You can't really see too much. Just kiddie poo. There's the grill. I have a light bar for it too as well. Did the tire rack. It has a Magnaflow. No, it's a Flowmaster 40 series exhaust. Sounds a lot better. Shit, what else I do with this truck, man? Pads, rotors, of course. Or pads. Of course, a tune-up. Distributor cap. Plugs, wires, coil. And the reason why I'm doing all this is because this is my favorite generation of Pathfinder, and I'm never gonna get rid of it. I'll be motherfucking buried in this shit, to tell you the truth. But like I said, I got a destiny to fulfill. That's the way I feel. This is my heart's telling me to go, and I wouldn't have gotten this truck in one of the worst times of my life, without a reason, man. I was living in a hostel for 6 months. When I wasn't living in the hostel, I'd be living in my Cobalt. And then when the Cobalt gave out on me, it was rough. And I have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, this year has really been a blessing. Just to have this garage to work and just hang out and to bring you guys on my journey, getting out of homelessness, finding one of the most favorite vehicles I've ever wanted. Like I said, I've always wanted one of these. I actually wanted a hard body because my stepdad had a hard body, and I wanted that to be my first vehicle. So originally when I got this truck, right, I lost a job and only had one job at the time after I lost that one because I worked 2 part-time jobs. And the person who I did work for, my temporary work for, they told me it was a 96. So I was like, okay, cool, it's a 96. Those are nice. I always liked the 96 and a Pathfinder as well. It's my really nice, sleek design. It's just like this, just more aerodynamic. But this has always been my favorite. So, call it what you want, homie. I'm calling it destiny. In a year prior to this, man, I didn't know what I was doing. Oil change, spark plug, simple tune-up. Now I've done so much work from this, like I said, timing belt, water pump, taking this bitch apart, fixing the rust, painting parts, painting the bumper, fixing dents, fabricating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all been a blessing. It's all been a blessing, And I just want to sit here and thank myself, and I want to thank God. I really do. I really, really do, man. But, I'm taking you guys for the ride. This shit's gonna look badass when it's done. Eventually, we're gonna get it painted, but the paint can wait. We're just gonna do the trim, small stuff. Still gotta make the mount for the light bar. I have an LED light bar. It's not a long one. It's a 20-inch, I think. And I don't want to drill inside the body, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a plate that extends almost to right about here. Kick it about 6 inches out, and then I'm gonna mount it like that. Like I said, I don't want to drill inside the body, so I'm gonna go ahead and mount it right there on top of that, and we'll see how it goes, So I painted these as well. No, I did not. These are not the ones I painted. I broke the other ones I painted. Yeah, I broke the other ones I painted. They were cheap anyways. Well, they weren't cheap, but they were broken, and they didn't match. And a gate hit one of them, so yeah, went to the junkyard and got some other ones. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is how Black Diamond's coming along. You're gonna see other videos too as well, but you know, one step at a time. Uh, you know, just like one of the subscribers one of the YouTubers I subscribe to is Young Static, and that and Deadbeat Garage. I want to say those two are the most influential parts of this project, this build. For one, Young Static would say, you know, it may be not be a lot, it may be what you do in a day, but progress is progress, man. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you gotta take a step, sometimes you gotta walk a mile. And then with Debbie Garage, I don't know if you're familiar. What's his saying? Dreams don't work unless you do. So we have a dream, and there's no turning back.